Hi, my name is Eric, and the organization that I'm going to be presenting today is known as KIWA, which is an acronym for Koreatown Immigrants Workers Alliance. The person that I interviewed from this organization, his name is Marvin Antoneth Corletto. With that being said, let me get started and explain you a little bit about what KIWA represents. So first and foremost, I'd like to start off with how they were created. First of all, they were created back in 1992. This was just before the LA riots, and it was created by progressive-minded Korean activists. With that in mind, I'd also like to go ahead and present what the services are that they provide and who is their target population. So first and foremost, the services consist of intervention measures. It's tending to the community's needs by its traditionally marginalized members. Another good thing to note is that all the services are free since it is a nonprofit organization. They typically target immigrant and undocumented workers, people with housing issues, people with limited housing resources, and people of color. The way Kiwa makes itself aware to its own community of their services for anybody who might need help is, constant promo. They protest. They give calls out to people's houses and letting them know if they're aware of certain things going on and that they could help and provide service. They do many little things and in terms of promo and word of mouth. Um, on the left hand side of the slide, you could see a picture which I actually received off of their website. And it is an example to take the steps of what to do in case ICE comes into somebody's workplace. Um, and it shows a illustration and a step by step on the what rights people have in case somebody who is trying to commit an injustice starts harassing certain undocumented workers in their workplace. Some other examples I'd like to give is the examples of what they do in order to serve their community. First off, I'd like to note that they provide service on a first come, first served basis. They fight for advocacy in the workplace, just like I mentioned in the previous slide. When an ICE officer would try to harass an undocumented, or possibly undocumented worker in their place of work. They offer free ESL classes to anybody who's trying to learn English and adjust to this country. And most of all, their services are geared towards creating a culture where traditionally marginalized people can thrive. Most of all, I'd like to just mention what their mission statement is. The mission statement for this organization is to basically build power and to empower the disenfranchised people of their community and help them take control of their lives. And the photo I picked in this slide is just an example of something that they like to do, which is we see all types of races and people of color and everyone from the community fighting for affordable housing. This is what they do. They gather together, they protest, they fight for their people, and they make sure that they're always having the backs those who they feel are oppressed and who are struggling and just need that extra push in order for them to get on their feet and like I said earlier, take control of their own lives. So once again, the person that I interviewed during this was named Marvin Antoneth Corletto. Here are some of the questions that I asked him. I asked him, how did you acquire your position? I was asking him what his level of education was, what he experiences on a typical day, what are the challenges that he faces, what is the most rewarding thing about his position, and if you could change one thing, what would it be? And here's what I got. He acquired the position when initially interviewing for a different position, and the organization wanted to have him around for his current position that he's in right now. The level of education that he has is a bachelor's degree. I asked him what he does on a typical day, and apparently, due to COVID, what he experiences on a typical day wouldn't be necessarily what he would experience on in situations where there wasn't COVID. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find out what he does, what he would be doing on a normal basis, but he still told me what he's doing at the moment, and essentially it's just phone banking. Like I said earlier, this is an organization that makes calls and lets people know, what they can do to help better their situations. In the meantime, it is a election day coming up, so they are trying to push for propositions and just generally make people aware of how the certain propositions that are upcoming can affect them. And this is a organization that does its best to make calls daily to many households to essentially educate people and encourage them to vote or to register. Typically, the challenges he's dealing with, since it's only on the phone, are just people possibly being rude or disrespectful or just not wanting to be helpful and give certain information that's going to help them understand where they lie. And you know the best thing about his job, he says, is having the opportunity to help the people and give them the guidance and tools for the better life. And he considers this the most rewarding thing about his position. Um, Only thing he said he would change about it was he didn't wish he was on the phone so much. He would prefer to be hands-on because from what I know of this person, he really enjoys and takes a passion in helping out his community and his people and anybody who he feels is oppressed. And to close things off, I essentially just asked him if he had any sort of extra info or any extra input that he wanted to give. And I told him to give me something more comfortable than the format of the way we had mapped out our interview. And the extra things he'd like to tell me was that it is an organization that just really creates and reacts to the community's needs. Um, he mentioned a situation where a couple years ago there was no division for housing needs, and that the organization created a housing division in response to the community's demands. So this shows that they listen to what the people want, and they're aware of what is going on at the time, and says, okay, they need something. There's no housing division in our department, and there's a lot of housing needs and uh, uh, resources that people need. So we're going to go ahead and take action in that sense. And he says for him, the most important thing that he loves about the organization is that, in his words, he says, it loves to teach a man to fish, which essentially means providing the knowledge to help yourself move forward. Well, yeah, pretty much that's the best thing that he says he loves about the organization. That essentially they don't just come and take and hold your hand. They give you the things that you need and the knowledge that's going to be able to help you pick up yourself as well. So it seems like an organization that is really for bringing up the people they feel is oppressed and bringing up the people in, my opinion, the right way, which is by giving them the resources, but also encouraging them to go ahead and move up on their own and know how to better adjust and take care of their needs um, without always coming back to Kiwa for the grab by the hand help. So that's essentially what I've learned. This is my presentation, and thank you.